Now it is 9 p.m. in Djibouti. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have introductions of the Citizen Services Administrative Declaration in the Ministry of Labor. Concerning international scene, new connections between the two Koreas for the first time in 40 years. Welcome to our newsroom. The Ministers of Muslim Affairs, Culture and Welfare, Mumin Hassan Barre, has received in his office a delegation led by the regional representative of the United Nations High Commission for Human Rights in East Africa and African Unions, Ms. Wane Koran Wede Obahor, accompanied by the Deputy Representative, Mr. Idrissa Umar Khan. The meeting was attended by the Executive Secretary of the High Islamic Council, Mr. Okiye Qawrah Fataha, and the General Directors of the Diwan Zakat, Mr. Ilmi Nur Jama. During this meeting, the ministers welcomed the UN delegations while reviewing the cooperation relations between our country and the Regional Office for Human Rights, as well as ways and means to strengthen them. More in this perspective, the two sides discussed the possibility of organizing a regional conference in Djibouti in early 2019, which will highlight the human rights observed by Islamic Sharia, including provisions related to the family code. This conference will be an opportunity to match the principles and values of Islamic Sharia and universalist human rights. The discussions also focus on the celebrations of the 17th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights to be held on December 10th. The Executive Secretary in charge of the reforms and the administration, SECHA, proceeded yesterday to the closing of implementation workshop on the declarations of services to the citizens. The purpose of these trainings is part of the general policy of the Minister of Labor responsible for the reform of administrations and the vision of the head of state, Malmar Gele, and this with the aim of initiating an administrative governance more accessible to the populations and more sustainable for the social and economic development. The inaugural ceremony of the training session on the second part of the introductions of Declaration of Services to the citizens in our administrative manner gathered on the spot of the Executive Secretary in charge of the reform of the administration, Mohamed Awale Dirir, the Director of the National Institutions of Public Administration, INAP, Mr. Sharmaki Idris, Canadian experts Robert Levesque and Michel Rousseau, and the numbers of senior executives from the 12 sectoral ministry. For this, the government has taken some steps to overcome the stakes by implementing the process of implementing the citizen service statement, which could be a good way to highlight the government's effort to meet the expectations of Canadians, citizens, and to develop a culture oriented towards quality of services among the agents of administrations. The Executive Secretary recalled in his speech. In addition, in a mission of December 2016, 10 ministries proceeded to the elaborations of their own declarations of service to the citizens with the framework by which the SECRA and the concerned ministry can realize a moderation intervention component for the democratization of the use of the DSC, and this with a view to improve services that are offered to the population. In his speech, the Minister of Labor said that the process of implementing services to citizens is a very important mission. For this mission to be successful, there must be considerable effort in involving the political authority to make the appropriations of the declarations of service to citizens effective in the administrative structure. The ACE Afri-City Summit, the largest gatherings of cities and local authorities in Africa, is continuing in Marrakech, Morocco for the Thursdays under the themes the transitions to sustainable cities and territories, the role of local and regional authorities of Africa. This summit, under the patronage of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, brings together more than 5,000 participants, including actors from the local continent and the partners from other regions and the ministers in charge of decentralizations. The Republic of Djibouti is represented by the minister delegate in charge of decentralization, Hamadou Mohamed Aramis, who heads a delegation of senior executive of his department and representative of local authority. This is the first participation of Djibouti in this triennial event allowed by the contact, and the invitation is by the delegate ministry in charge of decentralization last February of a mission of the United City and local government of Africa to hold a workshop on exchanges with the actors of Djiboutian decentralization. It's not that Djibouti's ambassador to the Kingdom of Morocco, Ibrahim Bile Douale, who resides in Rabat, the capital, made the trip to come and welcome and support the delegations of Djibouti, so that his first participation in this summit is a success. The president of the Authority of Ports and Free Zones, Mr. Abubakar Umar Hadi, has received yesterday, Thursday, a large delegation of the company Petro China. The delegation is included, among others, Mr. Jinhu Tian, Vice President of the Petro China, and at the same time, General Managers of Petro China International's Tong Zong, Vice President of Petro China Civil Tang, Director Managers of the Department of Financials of and Chang Wu, Deputy Directors of the Department Refined Product. PetroChina's company is the largest producers and distributors of oil gas in China and plays a dominant role in this file. It is also one of the largest oil companies in the world. Discussions with the President Abubakar Umar Hadi were mainly based on the cooperations of the oil park project in the Merjok industrial area. The two sides also discussed other possibilities for cooperation. It should be noted that PetroChina has already won the tenders for the supply of petroleum products to Ethiopia. However, they are interested in investing the oil storage depot in the Merjok. In addition, they are interested in the South Sudan's Djibouti pipeline because they have all blocks in South Sudan and they already produce and export. In 2011, PetroChina continued to implement the program's maximum growth of oils and gas reserves. As a result, this company has made a number of significant discoveries in key exploration areas, including Sichuan's Barian country, in the Bohio Bay basins, and Kedam Yingdong oil field. The National Human Rights Commission is in collaboration with the Arab Network for the National Human Rights Institutions yesterday organized a closing ceremony of a training workshop on hate speech, religious and ideological extremism. The closing ceremony was chaired by the President of the National Commissioners of the Human Rights, led by two experts, Mr. Jafar Ali, legal advisors of the Arab Networks of National Human Rights Institution, Mr. Ala Muhammad Othman, experts of the United Nations. The theme is hate speech and extremism of all kinds is a timely and necessary theme given the prevailing climate of war, hate in the world. It should be noted that the strong participation of religious leaders and civil society organizations. It is not enough to fight violent extremism, it must be prevented. This requires the use of forms of soft power capable of preventing a threat caused by distorted interpretations of culture, hatred, and ignorance. Radical extremism is not inmate is create fuel the process of radicalization. It must be diffused first and foremost by human rights and the principles of legality, by dialogue across borders, by empowerment of young women and men. The action is starting as early as possible at school. School sport event of the three-round phases of the school championship of basic football education are continuing in good condition on the lawns of the big stadiums of municipal. This new sports season is for the moment the student of basic education is aged 11 to 13 years of the district Djibouti 3. Remember that this sport activity are part of the detections of young talent of sports in the school's environment. This tournament will put in opposition several schools of the district of 3, and it is in a spirit of fair play worthy of the great sportsmen. After the inter-school football championship in basic education, it will be the turn of high school and high school students to complete in tournament generally aimed to team sports such as football, handball, volleyball, and basketball on the whole territory. The Hodan police station last night seized an important construction material that was stolen from the Chinese company responsible for building a free trade area located at Pica 23. The investigation was carried out following the complaints lodged by the Chinese agents of company responsible for the construction of this size of this large free trade zone, which is located at Pica 23. A total of 5 individuals have been arrested, and an important batch of material sales is estimated at more than 2 million Djibouti francs. The directors of Hodan police station, Lieutenant Colonel Said Obsiye, congratulate the agents of the judicial police who carried out these careful investigations, which ended within the deadline. Records Chief Warrant Officer Abdurrahman Subhani Qawaliye explained to us in his speech that the alleged perpetration is a repeated confounder who was helped by the drivers who grabbed all his construction material and the guardians of the place. He also recalled that these alleged perpetrators will be brought to justice. Concerning international scene, 8 civilians were killed during a night attack by a Nigerian Islamist group Boko Haram on the camp of French drilling company Forako in the southeastern Niger, near the borders with Nigeria. The attack occurred on the night of Wednesday to Thursday at 2 a.m. A group of terrorists attacked the buildings where a team of Forako drilling and the technicians was resting the village of Turmur, Difa region. The company said in a statement the attackers opened fires and the sleeping staff. 7 of the victims killed in their sleep were Nigerian of the French company, and which carried out drillings of on site to supply water to the refugee camp. To 8 was an official of the Nigerian Ministry of Hydraulics. To close up this edition, the two Koreas connect a road to the borders. The two Koreas have connected a road to the border between the two countries for the first time in 14 years. The last gestures of reconciliation between the two neighbors. The South Korea Ministry of Defense has announced today the third road not leaves the demilitarization zone, which divided the peninsula. It will be used next year for the joint operations to recover the remains of the victims of the Korean War. The two countries have each built a portion of this road in the Clermont area, almost halfway between the two Korea and the MZ. This is one of the commitments made by South Korean President Moon Jae-in and the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un at the third summit in Pyongyang in September. This is it for today Top First Night News. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.